Good day, students. Hope you all are fine. We have already completed 2 chapters. Chapter number 1, 2 big states, and chapter 2, the motions of the earth. These 2 chapters are included in the test. This is the 3rd chapter which comes in the civics part of the social science subject, right? This chapter is not included in the unit test. So today we are going to learn about government, the chapter in civics. Government. In Gujarati and Hindi you call Sarkar. You must be reading newspapers or watching the news channels and seeing the videos or TV. You must be watching the news where every time you get focused on this word, government has said this, government has said this, the government has put this decision. So who is this government? What are its functions? What is the importance of a government in a society, in a country? What are the levels? How does the government perform? These points will be discussed in our today's chapter. Now, what is a government? For any country, a government is must. Without a government, a country cannot run. Suppose we take the current pandemic situation. Every day, we get different decisions from the government. There are certain guidelines. If we take any one point, like in this COVID situation, you are supposed to follow these particular guidelines. Who guides us? Who gives us these decisions that you are supposed to do this, you are not supposed to do this? If you do these things, these are the wrong things which you do. Who guides us? These decisions are given by the government. So the important function of the government is to make laws. Laws which are for the welfare of the people, which are for the safety of the people. So each and every country needs a government. Now where does this government make laws? Does it make laws on its own? No, it makes the laws keeping in mind the constitution. What is constitution? In 6th standard you have learned. Constitution is a set of rules. A set of rules which are decided for a country. Accordingly, the rules are prepared by the government. Government cannot prepare any rules or any laws which are outside the constitution. And one important thing I want to let you know, that Indian constitution is the largest written constitution in the world. It took 2 years, 11 months and 18 days to complete this written constitution. So whatever decisions, whatever laws the government is making, that all are from the constitution. Now, what is this government? How does it act? What are the functions of the government? This government acts like a managing committee. It is a group. It acts like a managing committee. And in countries like India, like ours is a democratic country. What is a democratic country? In a democratic country, the person has right to vote and choose the leader by itself. A government which is formed for the people, of the people and by the people is known as a democratic country, where the citizens get right to choose the leader. That is known as democratic country, and India is one of the largest democracy in the world. So government functions like a managing committee, and in a democratic country the government works as per the wish of the people. The people's desires and wishes, their safety, their satisfaction is kept in mind, and it works for solving out the problems. Which problems? Social problems, economic problems, and any problem which are related to the social life of the people, economic life of the people. These all problems are solved by the government. It also has to provide what important function comes of the government, that it has to provide. It is concerned about the nations means entire countries' economic problem as well as problems of poverty, unemployment, literacy and health. These are the 4 major factors where the government's decisions are very important. The first thing is poverty. Poverty means people living below poverty line, the people who are very poor, who don't get even 2 times food to eat. So the government has to see that each and every citizen of the country must get basic necessities, at least food, shelter, clothing, medical facilities and education. That comes under poverty. Then unemployment. What is unemployment? Unemployment means when there are no jobs, when people lose jobs, you are qualified, still you are not getting jobs. If there is no job, this is a vicious circle. If there is no job, there is no income. If there is no income, then there is difficulty in spending expenses at home. So getting the people employed in the services. So government has to look after that. It is the important function of the government that it creates employment opportunities. Then third one is literacy. Literacy means how far people are educated. What is a literate person? Who is considered as literate? Any child who reads, who is above 6 years old and is able to understand, to read and write is called a literate person. So literacy, you see many primary schools, government primary schools you must have seen, Shada number 1, Shada number 2, government schools, this is the important function of government to provide free and compulsory education. That's why government is opening schools. Then health facilities. Health facilities are all government hospitals. So unemployment, poverty, literacy and health, these are the important 4 areas where the functioning of government is very important. Then it has to also provide facilities like making low priced food grain shops, that is ration shops. You must have seen ration shops means those people who are poor. Ration shops are government owned shops. They are also called fair price shops. There you don't have to pay price as you pay in other grocery shops for the basic groceries, that is wheat, rice, sugar, oil. These grains you will get at a very low price because this facility is provided by the government for the poor people. Then another facility which government provides is assistance during disasters and calamities. What are disasters? What are calamities? Sudden event, flood, earthquake. When such disasters happen, where will the poor people get help from? That comes under the responsibility and function of the government. It becomes the function of the government to provide assistance. Assistance means help in natural calamities, man-made calamities or any kind of disasters. Then it has also, its function is to establish educational institutions and hospitals. You must have seen government hospitals where all the medical facilities you will get free of charge. And then government also runs services like transport, judiciary. The judicial department comes under government, post and telegraph, railways. These all sectors are functioned by the government. And another thing, this government has to also perform friendly relation with other countries of the world. Like how we could maintain good relations with our neighbors, as our neighbors are our first relatives. Same way, a country has to perform good relation with neighboring countries and other countries of the world. So that was the functions of government. Now comes another topic, importance of government. Why government is important? Why it is necessary? Government is important because it makes laws, and when laws are made, it is to be followed by everyone. Laws are to be followed by everyone. Law is common for everybody, whether it is rich or poor, whether he is a businessman or a farmer. But laws are same for everybody and everybody should abide by the law. That's why the government is important, because the laws which are made by government, that are to be abided. Abided means followed by everyone. It frames the laws and it sees that it is implemented. I have made the law, come on. Suppose we say that now during this pandemic situation, that it is a law that you have to wear mask. If you are caught by any authority, if you are not wearing mask, immediately he will charge you the fine. Same way, laws which are made by government are to be followed. So, suppose whenever any concerned authority finds you that you are not following the law, it charges you fine, and you are supposed to pay the fine if you are caught not following or not abiding by the rules. And usually the government takes, why this government is important? Because whenever there are public gatherings, whenever there are meetings, or where thousands or lakhs of people are going together, it has to make law keeping in mind the safety of the people. Thus government plays a very important role because it makes laws. And why laws are made? Because laws are there, so peace is maintained and everyone can live peacefully, and governments gives the ensurety by making law that yes, the country will be developed. Now, functions we finished the importance. Now, one government cannot function through entire nation. That's why the government, as it becomes difficult, because ours is a very large country, so administering from one state is not possible. So the government is divided into different levels. The three levels of government are local level, state level and national level. These are the three different levels because government is responsible, it is function of government to provide the basic facilities to the people in all the different fields. Now, if you try to administer from one place, if you try to control so many things, it doesn't become possible. So, the government is divided at different level: local level government, state level government and central level government. So, in local level government, local level includes the taluka and villages. So, we have taluka development officers, sarpans and other local level heads who look after the villages and the talukas under them. Then comes when all talukas put together, districts put together, you get states. Then every state has a state government and there is a national level government which is centralized, for which it looks after the entire nation, that is from Delhi, that is called national level government. Local level is responsible for taluka level, state level is responsible for all the states which are under them, and national level does the work about take decisions for the entire country. Now, national level government is also called as central government or union government, and that is only in Delhi. It is central government. Now, the government and law. The government frames laws, but it should be, and all the citizens has to obey it, because law and order are very important. Why they are important? One who follows law, you will be safer and you will be developing more. Law and order is very important for proper functioning of government. The government has the authority. Who can make laws? Can you and I make laws for the entire citizens of the country? No. This authority of making laws is vests only with the government. It has to make law also and it has to implement it. Implement it means it has to see that it is functioned or not. Law to bana diya, we have made the law, but if no one is following, then that law is of no use. That's why only the government has that authority to make the laws which are same and which are applicable to the entire citizens of India. Now here I quote you one example. Say if you are traveling in a train or a bus, any public transport, and there you have not purchased the ticket, and if the ticket checker comes and you are caught, so what you are supposed to do here? You have to pay the fine. You have to pay, either you have to pay the penalty. So here, why you are paying penalty? Why you are paying fine? Because you have not followed the rule of buying a ticket, because you are because you are traveling and using a bus or train for travel, which belongs to the government's property. So that is the reason, if you are not following the law, either you have to go to jail or you have to pay the fine or you have to pay the penalty. It depends on what type of rule you have broken or what type of law you have not followed. Even though the government may work lawfully, in case citizens feel that laws are not being executed, but when you feel that some laws are not being done, not followed properly, not executed properly, you can raise your voice. Raise your voice means you don't have to shout. Raise your voice means you can go and complain to the concerned department that these things are from the government side and they are not being fulfilled, and that way you can go to the court and court can take appropriate actions against the person who is not following the decision. Now, as our body is made up of different parts, this government doesn't include one person, right? It has three organs. Three organs combined and it forms a government. What are the three organs? The three organs are legislature, executive and judiciary. These are the three organs of government. What is the function of legislature? The legislature, it frames the laws, it makes the laws, it makes the laws as per the constitution. And executive are the group of people who sees that whatever laws the legislature has made, they are being followed, executed. And last one, the judiciary. Judiciary means It also sees the judicial department punishes the one who has done crime and also sees that these laws are properly followed or not. So, what is legislator? One who makes the laws. This legislator consists of Vidhan Sabha. I will come to you that later. It is, and then who executes this law? Who implements these laws? Executive. And who punishes the one who does not follow the law and also sees that justice is done? That organ is the judiciary. Now, as you know, our country is not made up of a single state, right? India is a vast country which is combined into different states, and the constitution has made India into union of states for the smooth functioning and administration. Why these all states has to be combined and they are to be controlled by national level government? Whatever decision the national level central government makes, that has to be followed entirely by all the states of India. So, Constitution has combined all the states into Union of India for smooth functioning. Suppose say you are coming in school and then say suppose if you are in so all these years you are in noon shift. So, noon shift starts at 12:35, right? So, if for 6th standard if I give 12:35, 5th standard I give at 12 o'clock, then 4th standard I give timings, reporting time at 1 o'clock. Prayer starts at different time, recess will be different time. Would it be, the school can function smoothly? No, there will be a lot of chaos and confusion. Smooth administration won't be maintained. For this purpose, all the Indian states are combined into one country. The constitution is combined all the states for smooth functioning and administration. That's why India is also called a federal state. India is called a federal state. This means, what is the meaning of federal state? This means that government functions at two levels. Basically, two levels, the state level and the central level. Yes, of course, the state, local is included in the state, but being for federal state, India, it is written India is a federal state. This means government functions at two levels, state level and national level. The national level government is also called central government, and this national level government looks after the entire nation of the country. And the state level, that is where legislator is there. The legislator usually all the states have legislator. This legislator actually has two houses, the lower house and the upper house. The legislative body of Indian state, but it is not necessary that it should have two houses. Some have like states like us, Gujarat have only Vidhan Sabha, Vidhan Parishad we don't have. So, there can be, it's not, some states have two houses and some states not have. The lower house is known as Legislative Assembly. The upper house is known as Legislative Council and the lower house is known as Legislative Assembly. Legislative Assembly means Vidhan Sabha and Legislative Council means Vidhan Parishad. Now, when it comes to state government, every state has a state government, and who is the head of the state government? The governor is also part of the state government. The state of Gujarat has only one house, that is Legislative Assembly. Gujarat doesn't have upper house. Vidhan Parishad we don't have. We have only Legislative Assembly. Most of the states do not have Legislative Council. Now, if we see state government, look at the person placed here, governor, right? Governor is having the highest position. He is the head of the state government. As I told you, who is the head of the state government? The governor is the head of the state government. He is known as the first citizen of the state, and under him, the entire managing committee performs as a government. He is the head of the government. All these legislative body, executive and judiciary, they all function under the government. So, governor is head of it. The three organs come under the government, the legislative body, the executive and the judiciary. Now, see, the legislative body has two parts. Two houses, Legislative Assembly and Legislative Council. Yes. Then executive. What comes under executive? Executive consists of Chief Minister. Chief Minister and Council of Ministers, they together form a body which comes under the second organ of the government, that is executive. But the Chief Minister and Council of Ministers also works under the governor. And the third organ is judiciary. In judiciary, it comes High Court and District and Taluka Court. Again at 3 different levels. Every state has a High Court. So in Gujarat, for Gujarat state, there is only one High Court in that, and that is in Ahmedabad. But you have in various districts, you have various district courts and Taluka courts. Now in your textbook, page number 16, things to know, it is given. 4 important points are discussed. That before a bill becomes law, it undergoes 3 readings. Now which bill it is talked about here? The bill which you pay as expenses? No. The bill here means the decision taken by the government. Any important law is to be passed, then it is known as bill. So bill, before it becomes the law, it has to be read how many times? 3 times. The first reading, all will be having discussions regarding the principles, what points are mentioned in the bill. The second reading, minute and serious discussions, what things are to be added or subtracted, any changes are made. And third reading, act-wise discussion. The 3 readings are done. All the members who are present, they are satisfied. Then only 3 readings are done. Then the bill becomes the law. Now, here, if you want to become a member of Legislative Assembly, MLA, you must have seen so many times in the TV or sometimes on the vehicle also. Those who are MLAs, they are putting this board, MLA. What is the meaning of this MLA? MLA means M stands for member of Legislative Assembly. Who can become a member of Legislative Assembly? To become the member of Legislative Assembly, first thing, you must be the citizen of India. You should have Indian citizenship and you must be not less than 25 years. According to the Constitution, second point, what about the members? How many members should be there in Legislative Assembly and Legislative Council? According to the Constitution of India, the number of members in Legislative Assembly must not exceed, not more than 500. It should not exceed 500. It should not be more than 500 and not less than 60. It should be not more than 500 and less than 60. More than 500 members are not required for Legislative Assembly and not less than 60. If they are less, it cannot be formed. Now, as I told you, the governor is the first citizen of the state and he is known as constitutional head. Constitutional head means for each and every decision to be taken either by Council of Ministers or by Chief Minister, they need to inform the governor. Entire administration of the state runs in his name. He or she functions as he or she means either a governor is a male or female. He or she it represents as the representative of president. How president is important to a country, same way governor is important to the nation. Hope you understand. Complete all the notes which are given in the PDF. Thank you.